list, and it's a bad list, because this is now scary.
Wait, why do you want to read Sarah J. Maas? This coming from the person who has read all but one of her books. Why do you want to read Sarah J. Maas?
I don't know. Should I not read Sarah J. Maas?
I mean, I'm telling you, I know you. You will not like Sarah J. Maas. You will want to yell.
Is this gonna be as bad as the Grisha trilogy?
It's gonna be worse.
Oh,
trust me.
I don't know how shirts work. I don't know how anything works, actually. I don't even know how to do this intro. Hi, here's series I want to read. Sup, bye. I don't know.
That's perfect.
What's it?
This is your intro. Looking up.
Hi.
What are you asking me?
You watch Booktube. I also watch Booktube. In all fairness.
You make Booktube.
That's true. This is gonna be bad. I'm crying of laughter. Did you see that? I'm already losing my mind. Hey y'all! Today I thought I'd chat with you guys about some of the books in series that I've been meaning to read. So a couple of these I've read the first book and just never continued, even though I knew I wanted to. And then some of these I haven't even touched any of the books at all. There's a lot. I have a list, and these are just like off the top of my head. This is not a complete list by any means, but these are just the ones that, you know, came to mind. And I think I'm going to separate these in kind of like life recommendations and booktube recommendations. Like people in my life have recommended them / I just found them on my own and want to read them, and then the internet has told me to do this, and there's probably specific people. There's like one series that specifically is one person has convinced me to read this series. I'm going to start with the life recommendations section, and the first series I want to read is a series I need to read so I won't get murdered in my sleep, and that is the Villains series by V.E. Schwab, consisting of Vicious and Vengeful. So this is my roommate's favorite books, favorite author, and pretty much the first time we ever went to a chapters, she's been yelling at me to read these books, and I haven't yet, and I'm really worried that she's gonna kill me if I don't. So, I need to read Villains. I am worried I'm gonna get murdered in my sleep, though.
Bold of you to assume I'm gonna do it while you're asleep.
This next series, I read the first book of when I was 13 because I was on Tumblr and made a book club on Tumblr with my friend Anita at the time. And that first book I remember really loving, Angel Fall by Susan E. And I loved that book. I loved the relationship. I was obsessed with it, and I just didn't continue. So I really want to read the Penryn and the End of Days series. I am kind of scared that I will read it and then not love it as much as 13-year-old Coco did, and I'm kind of worried of tainting that memory. One of the authors I used to read religiously is Riordan. So like I read his first, the 39 Clues, what is the first book in that, like The Maze of Bones? I read his 39 Clues book, I read Percy Jackson, Heroes of Olympus, Kane Chronicles, and I guess just getting into high school, I just didn't continue reading any of his books, and I really want to. I really enjoy his writing. I mean, for some reason every kid went through like a Greek mythology phase in middle school, and I really liked reading the mythology stuff of his books, and I just didn't continue reading any of that, so I really want to read his other series, which is the Magnus Chase series and then the Trials of Apollo. My friend Thomas recommended this book series to me years ago, and I just never picked it up, even though they were everywhere at the time, and that is the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. I want to own these books just because of the covers, so I really should read them if I want to do that. I am a huge disappointment to my little brother, and one of the major reasons for that is because I have promised him that I will read his favorite books for years, and I just never have. And so, I really need to read The Inheritance Cycle, because I lied to him 4 years ago and told him I would, and I haven't yet. I think I told him I'd read it before high school, and I'm already mostly through my first year of university, so I really need to read Aragon, because I'm a liar and I'm a disappointment. Another series recommended to me by a friend in middle school is the Legend series by Marie Lu. Again, a series I don't know why I haven't read because it is everywhere and every library has them, and I was given all the opportunities to read them, and my friend who recommended to me was my neighbor, and she owned the books. My best friend and I have been watching the Game of Thrones TV show for years, and I really want to read the book series. She's read a couple of the books, and so she can understand all the obscure theories on the internet, and I can't. And I really want, like, I want to understand Jojen paste. I think it's a great thing, but I have no context for it. I don't know how to prove it. I don't know why it's going around. I want to understand Jojen paste, so I have to read the Song of Ice and Fire series. Two wildly popular book series and movie franchises that I haven't read or, I've watched the end of the first Narnia movie, and I've watched the last Hobbit movie because my friend dragged me to it. And so I really need to read the Chronicles of Narnia and the Lord of the Rings books and watch the movies, but this is a really big time commitment that I'm not prepared for. And at the end of this life recommendations list, which I realize the booktube recommendations list isn't actually that long, but the last of this is two book series that were recently adapted to movies, and that is Crazy Rich Asians and All the Boys I've Loved Before. So I've read Crazy Rich Asians, I haven't read the other books in the series, and I really like the book. I mean, it's not the most well-written book, but just having that, like, being able to connect to the characters so strongly was awesome, so I really want to read the rest of the Crazy Rich Asians series. And also, I love Astrid, and I know she's the main focus of the rest of the series, so I really want to read the other books. And I haven't read All the Boys I've Loved Before. I haven't even watched Tatbilb. I'm just calling it Tatbilb because it's too long of a title. So I haven't done that yet, and everyone seems to love them, so I really want to read them. And again, Asian rep! Moving on to the booktube recommendations, which my roommate cut short at the start of this video. The first series on this list is Renegades, and this Emma Books has hyped this up so much and so often that I am so ready to read this book series. It's just something I haven't started. Also, I think the third book isn't out yet, and I'm really worried that if I love it as much as she does, I'm just going to suffer for another year until the book. So I don't know if I should read it now or wait a year. I'll probably just wait 7 years and never read it until way later. Another series that a specific booktuber has influenced me to read is Miss Peregrine's Peculiar Children series. Jessie the Reader is so obsessed with this series, and I actually own the first book to the series. I won it at some kind of library thing a couple years back, and I wanted to read it then, and I wanted to read it even before I won the book, and I still haven't read the series. So I really should get on that. I literally own the first book. There's no easier way for me to start a series. What am I doing with my life? Another V.E. Schwab series I need to read, but this is very specifically from Booktube, because my roommate hasn't yelled about it as much as Villains, is the Shades of Magic series.
I will yell about it if you want me to yell about it, just FYI.
Lastly, this is also like kind of a general booktube recommendation, but I specifically think of Elias when I think of this series, and that is The Raven Cycle. I think Teresa from Ivy Muse also just read it, and she's been raving about it as well, and I just haven't read it, and it sounds like a really cool premise, and I honestly never heard about it until I got on Booktube, which is strange because everyone on Booktube was obsessed with it, but I need to read The Raven Cycle. So those are a bunch of the series that I want to read. Again, this is not a complete list by any means. These are just some of the series I could think of like that. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been kind of a mess. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you sometime. Goodbye.
You didn't include Sarah J. Maas.
You told me not to read it!
I know, but I still thought you'd do it. I didn't know you actually listened to me.